ask you, Jamie, to take over at some point if I go back.
If you get tired of...
Go ahead. Go.
Okay, so whenever anybody approaches me, it's clear that the most common concerns are that they're entering information into 3 different places. They're entering information into a scheduler, they have a different system for their clinical documentation, and then they have a different system for their billing. Okay? For their billing, most specifically, they usually have encounter forms that the provider is filling out, and then from the encounter forms, the biller then has to re-enter that information in your billing software program. Right? So rather than, because there's a lack of integration, there's duplication of data and there's data entry error mistakes. And sometimes there's claims that are sent out that have errors on it, and it slows down your revenue flow. So we created the Valence system to allow you to have and house all the billing information directly within each calendar event. So if you left click, double click on any appointment, you can see that not only does it house the patient ID, which is connected to all the demographic information that you need for billing, but it has all the structured data you need as well, including the CPT code and the fees. Okay. You can customize your fee schedule here based upon the primary code, and we now have multiple fee schedules, so you can set a fee schedule for each type of insurance company that you have, and it'll automatically populate based upon the fee schedule for that particular insurance company. You can also set up a fee schedule for each provider. So if a different provider has a different fee schedule than another provider, you can customize that here as well. So you can hit OK. You can see that the billing data is stored electronically here. And what we ask our providers to do is look at all the billing events for the day and make sure that all the CPT codes are correct, the charges are correct, and we ask them to hit this record completed appointments button at the bottom. This is like taking your encounter forms and handing them off to your biller at the end of the day. Instead of having to enter it on a piece of paper, you just pushed all of those encounters electronically into the biller's pending transactions queue. The biller is then able to look at the pending transactions queue the next day, make sense of it, and make any corrections as they see necessary. So you can record whatever appointments. This is a demo account, so it's a little funky. You can just go back. And so what we've done by hitting record complete appointments is pushed all the charges from that day to the biller. The biller now owns them. It's in their possession, and it gives them an opportunity to review all the charges that were sent and completed for that particular day. Now that you're the biller, you've received the charges, we'll go into Biller Tools, and you go to Pending Transactions Queue.
And that's what you just push forward?
And then we just pushed all these charges over, and it gives you, as the biller, the opportunity to audit all the charges before they're submitted over into the patient ledger and actually hits the patient balance, or sent over to a queue that will be sent out for claim submission.
Okay.
So what I usually do here is look, first of all, I can organize it by provider, so I know that there's certain providers that I have to be worried about because they're not very tech savvy. So you can hit any one of these fields at the top and organize it by specific providers and audit those people first. And then I can look at the fees and do a quick glance to make sure that the total charges look about correct based upon the CPT codes. And then for different providers that don't want to submit charges, if you organize it by document, this is a really helpful tool because a lot of practices who have Medicare and Medicaid will not submit any charges until all the clinical documentation is completed. So this will tell you if the clinical documentation is completed or not, and if it isn't, then you'll keep it in this pending transactions queue until the documentation is complete. So this person, if you didn't want to submit those charges, you would just leave them here because the documentation doesn't matter. So once we've reviewed this, we'd hit process selected transactions. And this is the demo account, so we won't hit any right now, but imagine that we just sent all of these transactions over into the patient ledger and into the claims queue. And from here, we'll then look at the claims queue and send out all of our claims. So we'll go to billing and create insurance claims. And then we'll be able to select under claims format. This is a demo account, so we won't be able to see the EDI file that we'll send over to Navicure. But this is where we would send over the entire claims, all of the claims for that business day into the Navicure system, or we could also download all the claims into an ANSI file and send it off to Gateway. So now we sent off our claims. So just to review what we did, we scheduled the appointment, we created a billing event, we submitted the billing event into the pending transactions queue. The biller was able to review the information in the pending transactions queue to make sure that it's all correct and do a little bit of an audit. They're the final author on the claims. And once they've reviewed it, they're able to accept all the pending transactions queue that sends all of the billing charges for that particular day into the claims queue. And then we submit all the claims that are waiting to be sent out directly to the insurance company. So now we've completed that cycle of getting the charges into the patient's chart. So if they're cash only, they're housed in the patient's chart. We can go to billing, view edit charges, and go to Bowjes, B-O-W-J-E-S. You can type in their name, yep. And you can review to make sure that the patient responsibility charge actually landed. Looks like it did. Okay, we're correct. And now we're just waiting for the insurance company to send back the EOB and give us payment, or have the patient apply payment. So the first thing we'll do, the easiest one, is apply payment from the patient. So if you go to billing, apply patient payment. So at the end of the day, every day, you'll have a stack of checks for the biller.
Right.
And you'll go through one by one.
So find our...
And start posting each one of the payments. So we'll do check number 1411, amount $250, payment type check, get unpaid transactions.
Okay, and then we can post it to the appropriate, or we can post it to the amount of $250.
So you can actually hit this apply to oldest balances, and it'll automatically post it for you. And you can see that it'll never let you apply an amount greater than the amount of the check. So you're reconciling with each transaction.
So we just applied $225 and $25.
Okay. So you hit save.
Save.
Bottom. So what you've done here is posted the first check payment directly to the patient's account. You've updated it that they paid $250. If all they owed was $250, now the account will be down to zero. Then you go to your next check and keep on posting payments. So what we've eliminated here for the biller, and in the perspective of posting, of the whole process of billing being integrated, is for most billers, they create charges, they post payments, and they do insurance follow-up. We eliminated the step completely of creating charges because the provider does that for you in the calendar. So that eliminates an entire step and frees up a significant amount of time for them to do more claims follow-up, more collections follow-up, and help improve your collections percentage across the board. So that's just an important step to realize. The other next step of saving the biller the most amount of time is that when you get your check back from the insurance company, now we have activated what's called electronic remittance device. There's a demo account, so you're not going to be able to see it, but you'll essentially be able to post the entire EOB, which our billing office in Seattle usually would take about 3 to 4 hours to post an EOB that's done by paper, because they have to manually enter everything. You know, as a biller, how much time that takes you, right?
Oh yeah, hours.
So that goes from 3 hours to 15 minutes. So by posting within ERA, that's another huge time saver by having electronic remittance device. So this is where you post it. All the EOBs would load automatically. It would update if it was a deductible, if it was going through co-insurance, whatnot. So now we've posted the two things that we need to post: patient payment and insurance payment. Now, just to recap what we've done so far, we've created a charge, moved the charges to our clearinghouse, Navicure, got the check back, posted the checks that we got from Navicure to the patient accounts, and also posted the patient accounts directly into the patient's chart as well. Now, so that takes care of the people who have paid. Either the insurance company's paid or the patient's paid. Now we have to do audits to make sure that we understand all the people who haven't paid and why they haven't paid. So if you go into tools, we've created a set of practice management reports. If you click on reports, that will give you a comprehensive understanding under billing.
Biller.
And you scroll down. The first thing I would like to do as an administrator of this practice is go to productivity. And this is going to give you a very high level. Go back about to January 1st so we can kind of see how we've been trending over the last couple months.
All
Hit
supervisors.
preview.
Okay.
So the idea behind this is that we're going to get a very high level, mile high view of the number of charges that we submitted, the amount of patient payments, how much insurance payments have come through, how much we're writing off, the contractual adjustment write-off,
Okay.
and where our AR balance is trending over time. And our average days in accounts receivable, which is a huge metric for billing departments in terms of how well they're doing, and also the collections percentages over time as well. So if your organization has a goal of a certain collections percentage, you'll be able to track this here.
Okay.
Obviously, with insurance payments, the collections percentage might be a little bit off because you're waiting for insurance payments to come in, but you can also calculate that based upon patient responsibility if you want to get a sense of that as well. So this gives us an idea of where to drill down into. So I know that my insurance payments on average are about $30,000. Why is it that I only got $2,000 this month? Well, let's drill down a little bit deeper. So in billing, you can come into what is called insurance aging summary. And this is going to tell you, as you know, as a biller, most of your contracts with all of your insurance companies, whatever they may be, the contracts say that they're going to pay you within 30 days. You know, if there's anybody outside of the 0 to 30 day bucket, that they are out of compliance with their contract, and you may need to call them to follow up and tell them that you're going to tell the insurance commissioner if they don't pay you because they're violating the contract, or if there's some other issue that you need to address in terms of them not paying you on time. So you can do 91 to 120 days and then over 120 days. In my mind, these are all people that I would call to say, why haven't you paid me on time? If you want to print off a report of specifically who these over 120 and 91 to 20 people are, you can go into billing. So we're going to dive even deeper into insurance aging. Right here.
Patient aging.
Oh no, insurance aging?
That's where we're just at.
I know, the next one up. And we're going to select the specific insurance company. Let's do Regions, or Blue Cross, the other one. And then aging bucket, we'll just do under 31 days, or over 90 is fine. And then patient, all patients. And because in our demographic section we select what insurance company each one of these patients have, we're able to create these reports with these drop-down filters, organizing it by insurance company. And then you can see these are the specific claims that this insurance company has not paid on yet. So if they
the dates, okay.
So if they try to mess around with you, you can say, listen, I know. I have a full report. I'm going to send it to you. This is where you're out of compliance. How come you haven't paid on the 91 to 20 or over 120 claims? These are the ones that are outstanding. So this gives you an idea of where the insurance company is coming up short in terms of making sure that you have the intelligence reporting that you need to make sure you get your money from the insurance company that they owe. And if you go to better understand the patient aging, so this takes care of the insurance, how much insurance owes you. Now you want a patient aging summary, which will give you a high-level understanding of aging bucket under 31 days. And this will tell you exactly what patients owe what based upon what bucket of time. So for me, I know